What's up, my Sigmas? It's your boy, Boggers the Diddy. Just wanted to talk, say my piece about all of the things that's been going on the server recently, and seems like it's the time to do so. So, in this video, I'll be covering the drama surrounding myself, as well as some previous. Fuck me, fucking pigeon, mate. Some previous things that has happened, which I think give context to it, and yeah. I think people take things way too far for a fucking Minecraft server, but let's get into it. Start this video by bringing to light the unfortunate Dog Steve situation. I think I'm only saying this because it's important to note how things can be taken way further than they need to be. And don't get me wrong, what he said was not okay. And but this is not me defending what he said. It's more so giving context to. I was misinformed at the time. I thought this guy was like fucking in his 20s. I thought, but apparently he was a minor. He was like, I actually don't know how old he was, but he was under 18. So he was just a kid, and he had a horrid take on something he didn't really understand. And because because he was such a well respected person before this, there were people who were like, right, this is not okay. Because obviously, if he was an adult and he's around kids and he's trying to defend this and that, and it's like, that wouldn't be fine. But he later backed down on it because I think he realised what it was. And yeah, I think too many people made it out to be bigger than it was. And hindsight's a beautiful thing. So I don't think it should have been taken as far as it did. And yeah, people LARP. People love to LARP. Boggers the server. Where do we start? It has an awful reputation. Rightly so. It was some things that happened later on in its time. Not great. Not great. Not as bad as people say. Um, it started out literally just for me, John, Kozaroki, and Teddy to play Skibidi Toilet Tower Defense on Roblox, and we just in that cool because we didn't want to call in OG Network because too many LARPers joined. So we did that. Everything was brain rot related, and as the server grew, the VCs got way more crowded, and we couldn't actually do what we wanted. So John made the Gooners channel. Now it was called this purely to stay with the brain rot theme, and there's been some confusion in what actually happened in there. So, admittedly, I had a weird call with Ainsley and Emmy where we gooned, but this was in a DM private call, and it was just us three, and we were all consenting adults. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a bit weird, admittedly, yeah, but what are you going to do at the end of the day? Um, so once people heard about this, they naturally thought, oh, that Goonish channel, that's where that happened. It didn't. Later, people tried to say, oh, it happened multiple times in public VCs with minors. Baseless claims. Baseless claims that were just made up by one person who's a dickhead. And yeah, that's all I'm saying on that. Bring up the Gartic phone. That happened when I wasn't about. Okay, it was some edgy jokes. Some of them got too far. There were no rules because it was like a server just made for friends and it grew larger than what it should have. And that's why I left. It just got too many people being too much of dicks. So I left it and I was like, look, John, just do what you want. He decided to nuke it, not because there was anything awful in there, but just because it's like people would take it out of context. Well, not even out of context. Like, they would just take it too far than what it needed to be. As you're going to see with the next part. Me and Ainsley grooming John. What the fuck? Point number one. John is 17. He's 1 year younger than me. Ainsley's 18. I'm 18. We're all within 1 year. Point number two. Age of consent where we all live. 16. So even if we were to go that far, There's nothing wrong with that. Point number 3. We never actually did anything. We just made jokes in VC. And, zesty with the boys. That's how it is. Nothing wrong with that. You just make some jokes sometimes. Crazy stuff, I know. Point number 4. I don't even like men. Checkmate. But as we were making our jokes, everyone was comfortable with it. And apart from one person, this dickhead. And they went around as like, oh, Ainsley and Boggers are nonces and they're grooming John. What? We were just making jokes in a VC with someone who was fine with it and literally in our age range. Zesty with the boys. Nothing serious behind it. I've never even seen a photo of John. Nor do I particularly want to. I don't care. Like, these are internet friends. And to make up this whole narrative in your head, you must actually be insane. Like, actually crazy. And this person has driven so much drama to so much higher than it needs to be. And they've just made everyone's lives a headache. But for some reason, they stay around. The Enthusiast Nuke. I'm not going to larp too much on this one. It was a bit of a headache to deal with, but it's quite funny, in my opinion, minus the GIF. The GIF was out of taste and had no idea about that. Technically, the nuke was my fault because I added the bot, because Ainsley said, oh, add this music bot, and I trusted lad. Still do, because it was funny, and he did own up to it to me afterwards. So I was like, alright, fair enough. I can see why he did it. I can see why he did it. And I don't hold any resentment for him doing it, to be honest. I was in a VC when it happened. I was a bit mad at first, and then I was like, this is actually pretty funny. Yeah, that's it on that bit. To conclude, I take zero accountability for nonce claims because they're just unfounded and fabricated out of thin air for no reason. I concede that I should have set up better rules on Boggers' server. Blunder on my part. Not a big issue though, to be quite frank. I think OG network players take things way further than they should, and this has a snowball effect on any one little piece of drama. When it all comes together, at the end of the day, there were no claims that it's even got any substance, but they just try and make out this narrative to probably just to make themselves feel better about themselves. But hope you guys enjoyed this sussy little video. If I missed any topics out that you want me to say my part in, do call me out in the comments. And I don't have anything to hide, not ashamed of anything. In a bit, Sigmas.